we are heading out on a 3-week flying adventure around the US. This is the route that we are planning to take, as you can see on the map.
So we're packing for a small plane trip in our Diamond DA-40, and we're going to go to Ocracoke Island, Cape Hatteras, and we're going to camp overnight, and then we're going to continue on to the White Mountains of New Hampshire, where we're going to go backpacking for 4 days. And then we start going across the country out west, where we're going to do a combination of backpacking and mountain biking. So this is what we have, plus we have the bicycles. The blankets are for protecting the bicycles and protecting the back of the airplane when we put them in the airplane. All told, we have about 160 pounds of gear, including the bikes. The bikes are like 53 pounds. So we pack the backpack just for the 1 day, but then additionally we have other stuff. My additional clothing is about 10 pounds. My backpack packed with, the stuff for one day, but including, sleeping bags, sleeping stuff, and everything else. What is that number?
15.
About 15 pounds. Of course, we have our hiking boots. Mine are about a pound. Our trekking poles. Our food right here. And we have a little bit of food in that backpack. This is about 14 pounds of food, including a bear canister. And that's required for where we're going in the White Mountains to the Pemigewasset Wilderness. And then Lily's backpack, which looks a lot bigger or more full. What's her weight?
15.
No, gotta reset it.
13? 13 and a half.
13 and a half. She actually has the tent, her sleeping stuff, some clothes, and the cooking things, even though I have the cooking fuel canister. And then her clothing, additional clothing. Is that?
7.
Yeah, 7. And each of our helmets are about a pound. Hers is 12 ounces, mine's a pound. All told, about 150 to 160 pounds are going in the airplane. Hello, we are preparing for our mountain bike trip, or our small plane trip out to Utah and Wyoming and things. And we're going to do a little bit of upgrading to our 7-year-old mountain bikes that we purchased directly from China. This brand is Eurobike, and this is our carbon fiber one. It's a fantastic frame, but it has kind of lower end components for a mountain bike. So we're going to upgrade a bunch of things on it. The first thing we will do is kind of take a baseline and we'll weigh the bike. We actually have 2 mountain bikes that are very similar, and we're going to show you mainly on one of them, but we're going to do the updates to both of them. Currently, the only thing we've changed on it is we put a big, fat, cushy seat and carbon fiber bars, and this one has a little bell. The largest change we're going to make is with air forks. Our current forks have springs in them, so they're significantly heavier. These use about 50 to 100 psi air for the suspension, significantly lighter. Then to install that, you normally have to trim off the steering tube, but we're going to add a couple of spacers. We actually only need about 5mm spacer, and that's going to help the seating geometry for both bikes actually. The next thing that we're going to do that's pretty important for weight savings is a carbon fiber seat tube. They're significantly lighter. And then we're going to a tubeless tire system. This is the conversion kit, and these are the tires that are generally set up for tubeless. This is for one bike. For the other bike, we've got to have 2 sets of that. Next, we're going to go for pulleys. The pulleys don't really save much weight, even though they are lighter. They have better bearings, and the better bearings actually save about 1.5 watts of pedaling energy. And typically we're using about 150 watts. So that's, 1% savings for your pedaling effort, and they're very inexpensive. Next, we're changing to pedals. On her bike, we're using the composite, which are hair lighter, and I'm using Rock Bros on mine. And I'm changing to silicone grips, which are hair lighter, but they also are very thick, so they have a lot of vibration and shock absorption. And then we're changing to the disc brakes. The current discs are great and work well, but these are just a little bit lighter, and they're very economical. You actually don't need a lot of tools to do this. We have Allen wrenches or hex keys. This is a tire changing kit with tire irons just to make it easier to get the tires on and off. This is the right size wrench, 15 millimeter, to remove the pedals and to install them. We have a torque wrench because some of the stuff we'll want to torque. We also need to have compressed air, which we'll do. We have a little compressor here. We didn't actually need to buy this tool. We didn't realize it when we ordered it, but the ZTZ forks came with the tool and the star bolt, or whatever they call it, star nut. So if you are ordering one, you don't have to order the tool separately or buy the tool separately. One real little thing is I bought a few titanium bolts. We actually bought titanium bolts for the brake disc too, but they haven't come yet. And the weight savings and cost is very minimal. They call these folding tires because they do not have a heavy wire at the edges of them. So you can actually fold them up like this. Well, the weight of these is 544 grams. Tubeless. So the tubeless has a conversion kit. You put sealant in it. Currently, my bike does have sealant in the tubes, so it's going to be a wash. But this is going to add weight, and you also have to add this band. So it's going to add 288 grams. But they will be self-sealing tires then, much more durable. In addition, there is the little bracket. I'll just rip it off. Or, sorry, these are the stems then, but they're 9 grams, almost nothing. Next thing, also on the wheels, are the brake discs. 2 discs are 119 grams. The pedals, Lely's pedals are the composite ones, and they are 255 grams. Mine are the alloy Rock Bros, and they're a little heavier. Oh, no, they aren't. 254. We're not going to bother to weigh the pulleys because they have the plastic on it right now, but the weight is trivial on those. Yeah, the next thing is the fork. This does have the piece on it. Well, whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. That weighs 1.52 kilograms. 315 grams for the old one. 150 for the new one. It's about half the weight.
Okay.
First thing is pretty obvious. You take off the front tire. And we'll set that aside for right now, but we'll do those. And it's nice that it sits real nicely like that. Next thing, we'll pull the brake caliper off. And we need to pull the clip off here and the brake down there. And I think the new one has its own little clip. So now, to remove this, we pull off the stem cap. These are not torqued very high, and it does preload the bearings. And these are the spacers. And one thing to note about this one is that the bike itself is set up for a tapered, but it has a spacer, so we can use the straight tube. And that's what we bought, by the way, was a straight tube. 2.27, and the new one with that little extra plastic piece is 1.57, let's call it. That's a big weight savings. I get a rag out to wipe the bearing. It is a sealed bearing, but I'll wipe that clean first. Oops. We put the various spacers on, maybe a hair more. Okay, that has to be beneath there. So we were going to add to from the original, but I don't want to use a whole bunch of little ones. So let's use a.
So you want to open this box?
They're also.
They have big ones here.
Yeah, they're also aluminum. This will prevent it from being done too far. So this goes over that, so when you do it, it'll drive it in that far, which is about the amount needed. So you put that over. And this, you gotta make sure the bearings are correctly in place. This preloads the bearing. You don't want it too tight. You only want it about like that. And then it's not preloading the bearing because I guess we have to either have a little more spacer. Okay, these are tight there. Now we just adjust this pointing correctly and tighten those. And there's a certain torque for these, and when we do the stem for final, we'll do the torque. Okay, don't squeeze the brakes. Next thing we do is we'll put the brake caliper on. I don't think that it's any heavier. No, it's
Similar, a little bit heavier the other one.
I don't think so. I think it's actually even lighter.
No, the other one 550, I think. 542, a little bit heavier.
Yeah, but it's a little more aggressive tread, and we save the weight of the inner tube.
Okay.
Which is
180. Okay, then total will be actually lighter.
But we now are going to be run flat, so we're going to have this, and this is 140. Direction on these tires on both sides.
Let me hold.
Yeah, we got it on one side first. Which we're going to put 70 grams of sealant into it.
1.6.
And it was 1.75?
Yeah. our final weight for the bike.
Well, we still haven't changed the discs because we're waiting on the...
26.79.
So the tires didn't reduce the weight at all, but it did add a couple of brackets up here.
Yeah.
Camera bracket and phone bracket. Also changed to a very similar water bottle holder.